Hello and welcome to this Jester lunchtime special. I'm going to read something to you which has only just come to my attention, and I'm unsure as to whether it will as yet come to yours, and I think it's important that we understand what's just happened. This is from the 19th of July, so it's a few days back. The Ghana Supreme Court rejects bid to block anti-LGBTQ bill. Ghana's Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed a legal challenge seeking to block Parliament from passing a stringent anti-LGBT bill, paving the way for its ratification. Lawmakers in the West African nation have been debating a bill since August 2021 that would criminalise same-sex relations, being transgender and advocating LGBTQ rights. Most MPs are in favour. Passing the Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill would further reduce freedoms in a country where gay sex is already punishable with up to 3 years in jail, critics and activists say. Amanda Adoy, an academic researcher, filed a loose lawsuit on July the 7th challenging the bill's constitutionality, saying it would impact donor aid and other forms of financial support. Ghana's Supreme Court on Wednesday ruled her arguments were not sufficiently convincing to grant an injunction. The ruling cleared the way for the bill, one of the harshest towards the LGBT community in Africa, to go through a final stage of parliamentary approval before being signed into law. In May, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni signed one of the world's toughest anti-LGBTQ laws, which spelled out the death penalty for aggravated homosexuality. Ghana's bill, backed by religious and traditional leaders, includes jail sentences of up to 10 years for advocating for LGBTQ rights. Publishing content considered pro-LGBTQ or that challenges traditional binary gender identities could also lead to prosecution. The United Nations said in 2021 the law would create a system of state-sponsored discrimination and violence against sexual minorities. Opponents also say the bill encourages conversion therapy, as sentencing can be reduced if those found guilty request treatment. UN experts have warned this could lead to torture. I am of no doubt in my mind, none, that if it wasn't for the forced teaming by Stonewall, the LGBT consortium, and every other nefarious alphabet soup nutter outfit, that this would be unlikely to be happening. None, not 1 ounce of doubt in my mind. Not one. When I consider the progress that has been made over the years, not just here, but in other countries, the progress that has been made in order for gays and lesbians to live their lives freely, and to do so by being treated equally and with tolerance by those around them, and that all we ever asked for was that. And then I look and see, since 2010, or whenever it was, probably around about then, the absolute insanity of the LGBTQI plus alphabet soup, with their pansexuals and their asexuals and their ridiculous notions about a soul that is slipped into a body that sometimes got wrong, or the demands that men are women and women are men, and that unreality should reign supreme, and there they are wibbling and shouting and screaming at women, dressed in the ridiculous garb of the pink and blue, or the revolting progress flag, while they shout and wave and scream through their megaphones, while they play music loud enough to drown out women who dare to get together and speak, where they accuse gay men and lesbians of being genital fetishists because they won't sleep with the opposite sex, where the government has remained silent around the fact that this trans nonsense is being used to push an agenda that is profoundly homophobic, where organisations who should have been there to protect gay people are not doing so, where organisations that are supposed to be there to protect women are not doing so, and they are not doing so at this point in the game, with the full knowledge that that which they are supporting is insane. Insane. And a country like Ghana, which has a far greater population who has a religious belief or a religious following, or would be seen by us to be seen as a much more conservative or right-wing thinking country, has watched us, has seen this unfold, as Stonewall has placed its sticky fingers in India and began the process of bringing filthy gender ideology and filthy queer theory to other places in the world now that they've managed to damage and cripple British society through it. They watch from the African continent, and they watch and they see what is coming, what is the likelihood, the attack on the family, the insanity of men who think they're women and women who think they're men, the ridiculous notion that sex is anything but binary. They watch and they see it. And then the right wing, who are so intent on eradication of homosexuals, sees the forced teaming that most gays and lesbians never signed up to, and they pass a law that means the entire edifice comes crumbling down. And because of the nonsense of the TQ, they've included the LGB in an attempt to stop the impending disaster of gender identity ideology and queer theory. At this point in the game, there is absolutely no excuse for organisations and institutions to still be pushing this insanity. Torture is what they face in Ghana now. Torture. Because the TQ Plus couldn't get used to the fact that they were nuts. That they always were. That what they were after was not rights, but the ability to destroy society in the round. The breaking down of every boundary by queer theory, the unhinging of the ship of humanity from the basic sex categorization of who we are by the gender identity ideologues. Well, congratulations. You finally got what you wanted, and gay men and lesbians in Ghana will be persecuted for it because the queer will just disappear and the T will take off their women's clothes and pretend they were never involved. Every organisation from the NHS to the universities, to businesses, to what's supposed to be gay charities, any person, any individual who now echoes or voices the mantras of Stonewall and the likes of the LGBT consortium, who stands there and tries to defend the unreality of men as women and women as men, you are culpable. Culpable in the destruction of nascent gay rights around the world, and men and women will be tortured because of you.